Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. It has been a year since I have made a YouTube video, and it is time. We are bringing back, as you saw in the title, the nightly vibes. This is going to be a little bit different of a format, much quicker videos, very digestible for all of you to watch after your long days. Going to be going over the biggest news from the day, looking at some social media, talking about the market, and also maybe sharing some fun news unrelated to the market just to lighten the vibes a little bit, do something that most other financial YouTubers are not. And then we're also going to be taking a quick look at the VibeBot reads on the stock market, looking at TradingView charts. As if you didn't know, VibeBot is the bot that I put my heart and soul into. And I want to share daily what the candles looked like with VibeBot at the end of each close. So yeah, we're actually not going to be reading this article. I just wanted to start off the video with this article from today because some really interesting looking guys in the picture. But what we are going to do is head on over to some X, as they now call it. And what a day for me to return to YouTube. The S&P 500 just had its worst day of 2025. I guess that's just how it goes, you know. Champion vibes coming back, and that happens. Apple down 1.5%, not too crazy. Nvidia was down 8.6%. Amazon was down 3%. So what really took place today? Let's first start off, and this is not going to be a political video I put out every night, but politics affect the market, and today politics very largely affected the market. Starting off with Trump posting, and I quote, "This is the worst statement." This is in response to what Zelensky said of the end of war with Russia being very, very far away. Trump responded saying, "This is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky, and America will not put up with it for much longer. It is what I was saying. This guy doesn't want there to be peace as long as he has America's backing and Europe." In the meeting they had with Zelensky, stated flatly that they cannot do the job without the US. Probably not a great statement to have been made in terms of a show of strength against Russia. What are they thinking? I'm not the best reader, I'm sorry. About an hour later, Zelensky responded on X saying, "We continue our work with partners. We've already had talks and other steps to come soon. It is very important that we try to make our diplomacy really substantive to end this war the soonest possible." So you're seeing, back and forth, you're seeing different words coming out of different guys, not just them two, but a lot of different political leaders. It's not my expertise or my field of anything to be talking really in depth about this, but this is definitely something that affected the market today. Just a quick overview of it. Before we get into like the tariff stuff and everything, let's just take a look from some posts today. Zero Hedge putting out for high beta stocks, it's now as bad as a 30% drop in the S&P from March 2020. SpaceX, I guess, was supposed to have a flight test today. They're standing down, waiting for next opportunity to fly. Asia Pacific markets, which should be opening shortly, are set to track the Wall Street declines from today. Chinese copper is expected to hit another record this year. I'm really just trying to throw a bunch of different random pieces of news at you so your brain is just like really recharged, ready for tomorrow, and you don't have to go digging through a bunch of different things. 23andMe rejected the chief executive, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name, proposal to buy back the company at 41 cents a share. See if there's anything else interesting going on here. U.S. pauses all current military aid to Ukraine per Bloomberg. Seeing a few more of those. What else we got going on here? Unusual Whales saying Trump's plan to eliminate income taxes on Social Security benefits would reduce U.S. government revenues by $1.5 trillion over 10 years and increase the federal debt by 7% by 2054. And it seems like Bloomberg Markets is all over this. Taking a quick look at Asia's economy visualized from Wolf Financial, you got $18.3 trillion in China, $4.1 trillion in Japan, and $3.9 trillion in India. And finally, California rangers urge state to end water restrictions as floodwaters swamp the northern county. Now let's talk about the tariff stuff today, okay? President Trump said on Tuesday that he will impose said that on Tuesday, like not as tomorrow he said it, but going into tomorrow, he will impose 25% tariffs on goods imported from Canada and Mexico. And, this has been in discussion for about a month now, and it seems like he's really gotten to the point where he's very firm on the decision. Trump, as Pete previously cited, the flow of deadly opiate fentanyl into the U.S. as justifications for the tariffs, apparently unsatisfied with recent efforts by Canada and Mexico to strengthen law enforcement at the respective borders. In addition to announcing that the tariffs on the two U.S. neighbors would go forward Tuesday, Trump on Monday imposed an additional 10% tariff on Chinese exports, doubling the 10% duty he had slapped on Beijing in early February. Canadian Prime Minister has said his country will impose retaliatory tariffs if Trump follows through on his threats. So a lot of back and forth here. The market really sold off. China announced retaliatory, interesting word, measures against the U.S. in February with the first round of 10% tariffs. So we're seeing all of this back and forth, and it's really moving the markets. Now, going into tomorrow, a very light day for the economic calendar. All we really have is New York Fed President Williams speaking at 2:20. Not too much going on right there. We look at the earnings for tomorrow. You have CrowdStrike, Sea Limited, Target, Flutter, Ross, Best Buy, On, and Nordstrom. So those are the earnings heading into tomorrow with, let's see if we can do this by market cap. As you can see, CrowdStrike having the largest market cap for the earnings tomorrow. Now let's lighten up the mood a little bit. I asked ChatGPT to give us 5 little snippets of fun news from today. Mysterious green lights over Ontario. Most likely a meteor, though. All right, that's not too crazy. But ice marathon runner dons polar bear suit, breaks the world record. An adventurous runner participated in an ice marathon wearing a polar bear suit and managed to break a world record. A coyote was rescued from a wire fence amid sub-zero temperatures. That's amazing. A North Carolina man, it's not a Florida man this time, wins his second big lottery prize from a cash prize drawing. And a red-tailed hawk was rescued after getting lodged in front of a SUV grill. All right, hopefully ChatGPT gives us some better picks on the next video. But let's take a look at the overall markets here, look at the levels, and look at VibeBot. You can see that the 200-day moving average on the S&P 500 is right around 57.22. VibeBot printed a red signal up over here on February 21st, and it's still holding that. There was a bearish engulfing candle at the close today on the S&P 500. You can see that we came back down to the bottom of this range. We bounced up on Friday during the Trump and Zelensky meeting. There was a lot of volatility. Allegedly, Trump kicked Zelensky out of the office, and Friday afternoon we saw a rally. Today you opened actually a little bit higher, but then sold off throughout the day. And as more of the tariff news started to circulate, that kind of increased. So we can actually click on VibeBot right now, and you can see that I've, because my brain, automatically does a lot of these things. There's a lot of other things we can look at if I turn on the rest of the features on VibeBot. We go down to the 4-hour time frame. You can see that it flipped from red to green on Tuesday, the 25th of February, and then it flipped back to red today. We go over to the 1-hour chart. You can see that you did see, a sell-off over here, a bounce off that green signal, and a red signal on pretty much the 1330 candle today. You can see that it's still charting this resistance up over here around 61.27, which matches these highs. And also you can see these bearish footprints also kind of came in. These bearish volume footprints came in as well during the downtrend. If we go over to, let's start off with the NASDAQ, and then we'll go to the Russell 2000. Okay, so let's move that right there. So the NASDAQ, you can see that VibeBot charted out this gap zone over here. You actually did bounce off of that on Friday, but today you ended up falling a little bit beneath that, closing under even, I think, the low of Friday's candle as well. And you are testing the 200-day moving average. VibeBot is still holding a red signal from February 21st on the NASDAQ. Taking a look at the Russell 2000, VibeBot is still holding a red signal from February 12th. It broke initially under this gap zone, and then it also gave up this support level that VibeBot charted out. You can see that it's charting a next support from these lows around September 11th, somewhere around 2057. Zooming out over here, if we were to take a look at these highs, you can see that it charted some resistance there as well. That 2286 level on the Russell 2000, you can see it was acted as highs in July of last year as well as October. It flipped to a low in November of last year, was acted as highs again towards Christmas of last year, and was a 2-day resistance on February 20th and 21st before this sell-off. 2 more charts to go. Hang Seng Index, you can see Vibebot opened a green signal in January of this year, and it held it completely up until last Friday. You do have this level back from over here on October 7th. And the next level you see is kind of lower at 21.26. So you can see these highs over here, as well as a mini gap from looks like Monday, February 10th. But flip over there to a red, and now moving on to Bitcoin. It broke down from this range it was trading in from pretty much November until now, early last week. Then Trump came out with the news over the weekend of creating a crypto reserve with Solana, XRP, ADA, and then he followed up by posting also including Bitcoin and Ethereum. And Bitcoin saw a big rally. It pretty much went back up to the lows of this range and was trading higher than that $90,000 level, $91,000 level for a good amount of time before giving it up early in the day today. Now it's back lower. You can see the Vibebot opened a red signal just before this large red candle on February 23rd, and it flipped over to green actually after it bounced off the 200-day moving average with this bullish pin bar candle, and it's still holding that for right now. It's really a very sandwiched area between the bottom of the range and the 200-day moving average. So those are the Vibebot updates from today. Sorry if I'm a little bit all over the place, and I'm still, working on getting my reading right when I'm actually reading out loud. It's actually weird if you don't read out loud for a year. It's a little bit harder to do it. But hopefully as the videos continue on, I get back into my natural vibes and you all enjoy. So if you did enjoy, make sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to use Vibebot for yourself, that is the first link in the description. Look for these videos to come out a few times a week. I'm going to try and do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, as long as I have nothing else going on for a little bit after I get back from Wall Street. But if I do have things going on, then I'm just going to miss, a video or two a week. But the goal is 4 videos, 10 to 12 minutes, around 8 p.m. Eastern time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So thank you all. Have great vibes.